The Seismic 7, Chapter 1. I check the view behind me, lining up the landscape in my camera's frame. Once I'm satisfied, I move my thumb out of the way of the shot and hit record. Hello, everyone! Welcome to this summer's adventures. It's sunny with a chance of mountains today here in Montana, which kind of sounds like the word mountain, now that I'm saying it out loud. I pause and tuck some strands of dark hair behind my ear. Over my shoulder, tufts of clouds pass over the scenery, in contrast to the green of the trees and the blue of the sky. Edit note. Check if that's how Montana got its name and overlay fact bubble. I smile extra broadly and continue, knowing later I'll cut that line and put in a video annotation to either confirm my guess or poke fun at it. Viewers may notice that I'm doing my own camera work this time around, because Aunt Pauline... Bree, now isn't the time, my mom interrupts me, sticking her head out from the door of our motel room. Her hair blows in front of her face, like mine keeps doing. Mom, I protest. The door opens all the way, its shadow moving along the pavement in the early morning sun, and she walks out to join me, shaking her head at my camera. I'm sure your aunt didn't buy you this just to waste its battery in a parking lot. I thought you wanted to record Yellowstone. Her nose wrinkles, scrunching up her freckles. I do, I sigh loudly, flicking the switch on the back to stop recording. But no one is here yet, and if I want to make this a full documentary, I need a good intro. How many motels do we get to stay at with this kind of view? We're supposed to meet the group I'll be working with this summer at 8 o'clock a.m. here in the parking lot. It's only 7:45 right now. But we're up and outside already because it's my parents. So of course we're early. My dad cleans various beverage containers out of our sedan. I know you're excited, he says, cramming another bottle into the bag of recyclables. But when your professor pulls up, do you want her first impression to be you recording yourself? I grumble. I mean, no, but I don't want to admit that. Instead, I kick a rock between my feet and watch the mountains in the distance, trying to imagine how they got their shape. Maybe that will be my next challenge in Earth Builder. Replicate a real mountain range. After all, it was replicating the first eruption of the Yellowstone supervolcano that got me this opportunity to begin with, as much as my parents disliked my obsession with that game. Their faces when they heard that I got an invitation to work with a world-famous geologist because of my video game skills were priceless. Do you think Aunt Pauline has had any luck with that building they are clearing yesterday? I ask, checking my phone and changing the subject. If she has, that means she's probably too busy to text us about it, my mom replies, trying to sound reassuring for both my sake and my dad's, since it's his sister. I know you're worried, Bree, but we'd hear if anything went wrong. We're her emergency contact, remember? I nod, putting my phone down and going back to the new super fancy camera my aunt got me as a present for winning this contest to work at Yellowstone for the summer. Bree, my mom gives me a look. What? I ask, flipping the camera around and pretending like I was just fiddling with it. Aunt Pauline's going to want to see what I'm doing. So will my viewers. Well, by my viewers, I mean hers, but still. Aunt Pauline and I usually take trips together for the summer, recording for her nature documentary YouTube channel. This year we had to cancel the trip because LA had a massive earthquake, 8.4 on the Richter scale, and Aunt Pauline decided to go help with the cleanup and rescue efforts. She's clearing rubble and helping build temporary shelters. As much as I miss my aunt, I can't lie. I am excited for the chance to create a documentary on my own. I'll finally be able to show her that I can be more than just the kid co-host. Plus, I get to do it in Yellowstone. She and I were here last summer, and it was amazing. I have so many ideas of places to film. Have I mentioned how proud we are of you? Dad says, walking over to hug me. Dad, I squirm. My bony elbows dig into my stomach as I push away from him. So proud. Even though I hate this part, he says. I thought with your aunt away, I'd get to keep you for a summer. But you're just too talented, so I'm losing you again. I look to Mom for help with eye rolling, but she's welling up. That catches me off guard. Do they cry every summer when I leave? Before I can say anything else, a blonde family comes out of two of the other motel rooms. Why they were in two rooms rather than one, I don't know. One kid with them looks to be 13-ish, around my age. He's wearing glasses and it's kind of scrawny. The other kid with the approaching family looks maybe 9 or 10, despite having her face loaded with makeup. She's much tanner than the rest of her family and walks ahead of them, her flip-flops smacking against the ground loudly. Hey, she calls toward me. Hey, I answer. You waiting for Dr. Greer? She's still yelling, even though she's close enough now that she could probably drop her voice to a normal level. Yes, we are, my mom says for me. Well, she's not coming. The park manager is picking us up and taking us to meet her, the girl says, pulling out a tube of bright red lipstick and reapplying it, despite definitely not needing any more. I look back at her family, trying to rein in my judgment, but failing spectacularly. They all seem clean-cut and put together, pretty much the opposite of the mess in front of me. I met her last night. Her name's Miss McNamery. She's okay. Kinda runs Yellowstone, so she'd better be. I'm Kinsey, by the way. She juts out her hand. I shake it. Brianna, I reply. That back there is Todd, she gestures. I can introduce myself. The boy frowns. Their parents look at each other and then at Kinsey with a mixture of sympathy and frustration. Todd's got some work to do on his people skills, but I bet we can make a real human out of him by the end of the summer, Kinsey says. I laugh, despite a look from my mom. My dad creases his forehead, adjusting the sunglasses that are pushed up into his receding hairline. Kinsey, are you part of the crew that Dr. Greer has invited? Sure am, she says. I'm 13, by the way, if you're confused. I get that a lot. Oh, I blink, feeling my cheeks redden. You have to be 12 to be eligible for the contest to work with Dr. Greer, so I way misjudged her age. Wow, yeah, sorry. So is this your brother, or... I gesture at Todd. I can't tell who looks more appalled, Todd, Kinsey, or the man and woman with them. Oh, goodness, no, Kinsey gags. No way, nope. Definitely not, Todd says. We just met. The woman looks at my mom. We're Todd's parents. Kinsey arrived last night without a legal guardian, so Laura, the park manager, asked if I wouldn't mind sharing a room with her. My grandma sent me on my own, Kinsey says. I can travel by myself. I've done it before. But motel regulations are something, said I had to have an adult with me. She arches an eyebrow, looking up at me. Rules. Am I right? I think I'm a whole foot taller than her. I resist the urge to reach out and fix her ponytail, which is half pulled up with a pile of waves falling out of it. So Dr. Greer isn't meeting the kids? My mom asked Todd's parents. Dr. Greer is in a critical stage of her research, so she'll be meeting the kids on site in the park, Todd's mom explains. Laura told us, such a lovely woman. So considerate with... She trails off, looking at Kinsey, who smiles sweetly back at her and doesn't let her break eye contact. Everything. Kinsey continues to stare her down, her smile spreading into a grin. Laura said she's been working closely with Dr. Greer's team and will be supervising the kids with her this summer, Todd's dad says. I hadn't realized that an actual member of the Yellowstone administration would be involved. An extra win for the college application forms. My dad squeezes my shoulder. We couldn't be prouder. I look away from Kinsey, embarrassment flooding through me. How awkward can parents be? Excuse me, are you here for the Yellowstone geology trip? A man says from behind us. We all turn. Next to the man is another kid. They both have darker skin. The man's hair is graying, and the boy is even skinnier than I am and wears a backpack stuffed to the point of overflowing. I'm Jim Kyannan. This is my son, Wyatt, the man says when my parents confirm that we are all here to meet Dr. Greer, or now, rather, Miss Laura McNamara. Nice to meet you. I'm Todd, Todd says, immediately stepping forward. Wyatt shakes his hand. Hi. Kinsey. Kinsey jumps in next. Hi. And I'm Brianna. You can call me Bree, I say, shaking his hand last. Okay, hi. He smiles at us and steps back next to his dad, adjusting his backpack on his back. He doesn't say anything else. With only a half moment to spare before the silence becomes totally awkward, the adults begin chatting among themselves. Meanwhile, I'm kicking myself for not filming our introductions. I'll have to do some kind of get-to-know-you segments later. Kyannan. What is that? Indonesian? My dad asked. I want to bury my face in my hands. Dad. Filipino, Wyatt's dad answers. I risk a glance at Wyatt, but I don't know him at all and can't judge his expression. I thought it might be, my dad says next, even though I know he had no idea. I'm about to check my phone again for some place to look that isn't at or around my awkwardly prying father when a beige Dodge Caravan pulls up with the National Park Service logo on its side. It parks next to us, and a lady with curly brown hair climbs out. Oh, she gasps as a gust of wind blows by, lifting her tan ranger hat straight off her head. She grabs it, yanking it back down quickly. It's windier than I thought. We've all stopped talking now, even the adults. Hey, it's Miss McNamara, everyone, Kinsey says. She jerks her thumb over her shoulder at the van. Yes, we know, Todd says. I see his dad nudge him, giving him a look I know all too well from my own parents. Well, it's great to meet you, my mom says, stepping forward with her hand out. Miss McNamara shakes my mom's hand. She looks to be around her age, I'd guess. Maybe a little older. It's wonderful to meet you. You must be Dr. Dobson, Brianna's mother. And you must be Dr. Dobson, Brianna's father. And you must be Brianna. She turns to my dad and then to me, chuckling as everyone always does at my parents' twin titles. I'm so glad you can join us. I silently stand between my parents as they thank Miss McNamara for hosting us kids in the park. I feel as quiet as Wyatt now. Quiet? Wyatt. As Miss McNamara introduces herself to Wyatt next, and then everyone splits apart to grab luggage. I use the opportunity to turn my camera on, zooming in on my face for a moment, glancing around to make sure no one's watching. I hit record. And we're back! I am live on scene as me and a bunch of other young adventurers pack up into Miss McNamara's, minivan. I zoom in on the beige Dodge Caravan in the motel parking lot, deciding to put some over-the-top gritty filters on the footage later for comedic effect. The best-known vehicle for exploring. I bring the camera back to me. We're about to head into Yellowstone, my favorite of the national parks. If you haven't been watching my aunt's series, which, if you haven't, where have you been? Seriously, go catch up. Anyway, Mom and Dad have to go back home to Portland, and me and the other contest winners are about to head out. They're over here. I pan the camera around to the three other kids.